logged as a low of 31 for today, which is just so crazy because I swear it doesn't look different from the usual like gray and dry, like people do have green lawns here, but or in Gulf Breeze at least, but in Pensacola it's different. So anyways, it doesn't ever like look cold unless it's actually snowing, which doesn't happen that often. And so people don't really, they don't do it right. So having booked this yesterday, I thought yesterday was going to be the colder day, but it took longer. Anyways, a note about booking a grocery delivery in advance, using a microloan. These things are offered via the platform, which is to say like the website, but it's a application. And so it's not like you're having to create a new, you know, like chain for making payments or whatever. These things are either already offered on the platform or they aren't. You're not going to go strike a business deal and say, hey, how about we trade this for that, because they do hire and because they do have a very easy application and onboarding. You have to have certain things, like a car for one, or money on the other side. It's very cut and dry that way. But I used Klarna, and Klarna, and it was an option, at checkout. What it does is it splits the total into 4 payments that you can make bi-weekly. It wasn't that expensive. It was like, like $150 or something. But I only get $250 every couple of weeks, and it is a holiday, so instead of feeling insecure because there are, external pressures, I decided to reserve some disposable income by taking out this microloan. And so what happened is I paid $30 down, and then I'll pay $30 3 more times or something like that, for a few weeks or something. But I've done this before. I have paid for groceries with the microloan before. I only did it one other time. But for me, it's just about making things stretch a little bit further, for an occasion, for the reason of, creating a, a special occasion. And you might think like, wow, are you sure you can do that? I've got a cupboard full of packaged tuna, and I have a hidden box of pasta, like a big box that I just don't even want to think about. And It's not that, it's that, you know, I do have a hard time actually finding things that I want. And so I have sort of, you know, been uh, brought to this point where um, regular, like everyday staples are like eaten as quickly as possible. And and it's not, you know, about much flair. It's about like getting it done as fast as possible. Um, but, you know, for Christmas time reasons, like, for example, um, I got some specialty items. You know, the fast food chain Wendy's. Well, they make chili that they sell at the grocery store. So I got a can of Wendy's chili. There's like, I think it's a diner in New York or something, and they were selling a can of chili, so I got that. Trying to like do kind of silly stuff like that because the brand recognition helps to create more culture, if you will. Um, and so I did that. For New Year's, it's always, you know, kind of fun thing to have a New Year's resolution or a like a special attempt at, you know, kicking things off, making a dinner, stuff like this. There's collard greens that have always been popular, but like trying to make a habit this time of year of, you know, trying to eat collard greens or something like this. Black-eyed peas for good luck. So I got some different kinds of like seasoned. There's a brand called Luck. There's a brand called Glory. So like really investing in that kind of you know, associations and trying to really you know, be playful in that way. Um, and so it's not like um, the most exciting thing. I've had a bag of frozen shrimp in the freezer for a long time. So I bought cocktail sauce because that's always been a fancy grandma thing. Um, I bought Ovaltine powder because kids like that and, you know, stuff like that. So it's like trying to think of what's missing. Um, you know, I buy things that are allegedly popular, but in order for them to be actually consumed or actually like valuable, it usually requires a little extra love, a little extra like help creating associations or like value out of things. And that's where I was failed as a kid, is they would give me whatever and just expect me to appreciate it immediately. Like I would just have been possessed by it or something like this. But, you know, and they always had really bad attitudes. So I didn't learn it from them. And I'm the complete opposite, you know. It's one of those things where feeling like I was always going to be overlooked or passed over because of like geography or the click of a button made me very self-conscious in that way, so that I always act very vigilant and, you know, very thoughtful because I want to have signs of success around me in my environment, in my relationships. And that means things aren't fixed, you know, they aren't always constant. And so, you know, that's my point, is that I'm not looking for the same thing everywhere. I'm looking for ways that I trust it, you know, as it is, that I feel confident in its, development, as much as, the face value. So, all right. Well, it's just almost 9 a.m. and my courier is going to be pulling up any minute now. So, but yeah, just a note about impact and celebration and heritage, which is that, you know, I don't always take out loans for things, but sometimes when I want to make a statement, I do. And yes, I do have to pay for it the rest of the, other times. I do take from other times, but somehow that does work out because I'm always thinking about how to sustain myself as is. So it gets kind of cheaper and cheaper all the time because I think, oh, yeah, I can do that. So, anyways, there is room for celebration. It's going to be somebody pulling up, like, literally. Oh, all right. So that's that. Bye.